Hello and welcome to the GME 1005 ICE number 4. Slides are done by Manuela, Jacob, and Adrian. The voiceover is done by Victor. Meeple's Madness Jongles Edition. Meeple's Madness Jongles Edition is a board game that can be played from 2 to 6 players, or from 8 to 12 players if in played of teams of 2. The board game comes with 6 packs of toothpicks with different color variations, a container with 24 meeples, some Play-Doh, 4 6-sided dice, and a 60-second hourglass. The game is best played over a flat surface, but anywhere can work as long as you have fun. Some of the mechanics for Meeple's Madness Jongles Edition. The space in which Meeple's Madness takes place is the board, which is the table in this case. The space shall include the Play-Doh into which the toothpicks get stabbed. The space shall also include the area in front of each player where they store the meeples. Time. Within 60 seconds on the clock, it applies pressure to perform your best in the beginning because it will shape how you play the game depending on how many meeples you receive. As you progress in the game, Meeple's Madness Jongles Edition, the game starts to become a turn-based game and allows strategy into certain situations. Objects. 24 jungle-colored meeples. Colored toothpicks. Red, blue, pink, green, yellow, or purple. Green Play-Doh. 4 dice. The actions. Some of the key actions players can do are roll a dice, stick toothpicks, and Play-Doh. These actions are quite simple, so really anyone picking up the game for the first time should easily be able to accomplish them. Skill. Meeple Madness doesn't require much skill, as it is mostly a luck game, rolling the dice to see how many toothpicks you have to stick in the Play-Doh. Although it doesn't require much, you still need to be able to stick the required amount of toothpicks within the time that is given, as well as be able to strategically plan who you want to steal a meeple from if you roll the right numbers on the dice. Rules of the game. Players first pick a pack of colored toothpicks. Red, blue, pink, green, yellow, or purple. 2. Players must now each roll 1 6-sided die to determine the turn order. 3. When the turn order is decided, each player on their turn must roll all 4 of the provided dice and add up the total. Start the 60-second timer once the total is added. 4. Once the timer has started, the player must attempt to stick the corresponding amount of their colored toothpicks into the green Play-Doh before the timer runs out. 5. After the first round of turns, the player who has the most toothpicks in the Play-Doh at the end of their 60 seconds gets to take 1 meeple away from another player. 6. When a player reaches half of their starting meeples, they can use what is called the Sneaky Stance. Sneaky Stance allows the player to attempt to steal another player's meeple by rolling one of the 6-sided dice to determine if they were sneaky enough. If the dice lands on any number between 1 and 3, they fail and cannot take a meeple, but may try again at the end of the next round. If the dice lands on any number between 4 and 6, then they can successfully steal back the meeple. After they succeed, they cannot use this ability again. Each player can only use this ability once per game. 7. A player is out of the game when they lose all of their meeples. 8. The game ends when either one player collects double their meeples or the game reaches a certain number of rounds determined by the players beforehand. And remember, have fun. Fairness. The game Meeple Madness starts off very fairly, where every player or team of players starts with the exact same amount of meeples, as well as each player/team getting a box of toothpicks and the same amount of time to place the required amount of toothpicks in the Play-Doh. Competitive versus cooperative. The game is very competitive because everyone wants to win. It can also have an aspect of co-op, with teams being introduced to the mix, where you have to work together with someone to get the most meeples at the end. Freedom versus controlled. The game gives you lots of freedom to play it how you would like to, like when to use the meeple steal ability, who to use it on, and how you go about sticking the toothpicks in Play-Doh, etc. However, it does control you by giving you the ability to steal the meeples once and only once, which brings in an element of strategy. Simple versus complex. The game is quite simple when you first look at it, but it has some complex rules that can be a bit hard to understand at first, but when you do understand, are quite simple. The game is also very complex, as it will always be different each time you play it, since it has a big element of randomness to it by rolling a dice. Now enjoy Meeple Madness, Jungles Edition, and go mad with us!